Fubler again, coming at you with another exciting chapter of the Library of Alexandria. This one's actually going to be on COVID-19. So I really wanted to make a good one on this because when it actually comes to the COVID-19, you actually want to be wise and have understanding, on what you're doing. So when I very first want to start, I actually want to talk about how I actually came to know really this whole COVID virus. So I was actually doing a meditation, and as I was doing a meditation, I was actually reaching the point of existence and non-existence, which is actually the point of creation. And it was actually around this time where I was actually starting to open doors. I don't know if anyone else does that, but I remember I was going there was all these types of doors. So I remember I was sitting there and I had met the actual door, the healing, the Obla Aya, the actual energy of all healing and sickness. And I remember it was actually a little bit, kind of almost mad at the time, you know what I mean? When I had met it, I was like, whoa, why? So then it actually took me to the Hall of Viruses, and there was so many fucking viruses. It just was crazy, I mean, there was viruses everywhere. Excuse my language, but there was so many viruses. And then there was like some there that couldn't actually be really even open the doors. I mean, it was crazy when you think about it. Some of them, like, they were locked to where they couldn't be opened, and they were like sealed to where they can't be opened in this certain universal cycle that we're actually going through. So maybe it's something that we experienced in the past one, maybe something in the future, just certain, viruses. So I was like, whoa, so that's pretty cool. And then Oblai, took me to the actual door of where it was COVID-19. And I remember going to the door like, whoa, this is scary. You know what I mean? What if I open it and invite it into me? You know what I mean? I catch the virus and all that type of stuff. So I started getting a little subconscious about it. It was like, nah, all right, cool. So I had went to it, opened the door, and I remember I had talked to COVID, and I was like, wow, this is, it was super chill, it was saying, it was out here for a purpose, you know what I mean? It's sitting here, it's trying to do this, it's just a virus, you know what I mean? And, just keep your magic away from mine, and I'll keep my magic away from you in a way. And I was like, okay, cool, I could dig you, you know what I mean? We bumped hands, it was like, all right, you know what I mean? So me and COVID had, kind of expressed away from each other. So then after that, you know what I mean? I was like, shit, I just didn't really even think about it too much. And then the vaccine had came out. And the cool thing about this is that I was like, there was a lot of people always talking about, certain things about how they feel about the vaccines and blah, 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 blah. So I actually, which I think everybody should do, is I actually did my own research on the vaccine. So I actually came across, when I was actually going through all of them, I actually turned to the Moderna vaccine. And the reason why I actually liked it is because it really, when you think about vaccines, it's really a way of it's a way of basically a weaker version of the virus to actually enter your body, so that your body can start making antibodies to it, so that you can actually fight off the certain virus or disease or whatever it may be. So that's with the vaccine. So when I was thinking of the Moderna, there's actually only 3, despite what everybody says. I've done my pretty good my research. There's only really 3 key ingredients that are basically in there, so it's like a 3-ingredient type thing, and that's why you got to keep it in certain temperatures and all the rest of that stuff. And the first thing is actually the first ingredient, which is mRNA, you know what I mean? And basically what that is it's a piece of coating of protein, you know what I mean? So that it actually helps it, so that you can helps out that. And then there's actually lipid particles, which allows it to cross into the membrane. I'm trying to not, maybe not make it too scientific so that everybody can also understand it. And then, of course, there's saline, which allows it to cross into the body. So if you have mRNA and you have lipid proteins and you have, some saline, you know what I mean, and you mix all those together, what happens is that it allows it, and it goes into your body or into your DNA, and it makes a split protein. A lot of times when people hear that, they get scared, like, oh, it splits your DNA or whatever. But pretty much any amino acid that's a protein, when it actually hits your body, it actually splits through, and that's how it actually becomes, kind of a part of you. It's actually, you can look it up. It's a really, really cool scientific process to it, or even magical process, because they're both kind of one and the same. So when you actually, when you think about that, and then what it does is that it creates a split protein so that it can create antibodies in your body so that you can fight. And I was like, actually knowing about DNA, and it actually, when you think about it in a magical sense, in a way, it gets really more in depth, then DNA is actually consists of the ancestors of your ancestral line. So I actually made a video where you can actually talk to the dead. So if you actually do that, what you'll be able to do is communicate with your ancestors, which is part of your DNA. So then you'll be able to understand, like, okay, is this thing for me? And they'll let you know, like, yeah, okay, you could take which one, which vaccine or whatever you want to do. For me, like I said, I got fully vaccinated. I got my card here, and it was Moderna for me. That was, really, really calling. And then another cool thing about that is that, after I had got vaccinated, and I had talked to the ancestors and we had got confirmation, I remember right after, like, I remember a lot of times when people feel like when they get their first shot, they feel sick. Honestly, the only thing I felt the whole time was my arm, being a little sore, like I got in a good workout, So did a little couple yoga to stretch it out. And I actually felt better afterwards. Like, I actually was feeling like, yeah, it's pumped. Like, it was weird, like, after I had took my second dose, which a lot of times people say, you wake up. I've heard cases of people, that got sick and stuff like that. And that's just basically based upon, like I said, your DNA and your ancestral line. So you want to always go through that. You can do, like I said, a meditation. You can actually go in and see and figure out yourself so that you know. Because I figured out it was going to be great for me, and it pumped me up and it made me great, and it actually was great all the way through. And I'm excited, I got vaccinated. I'm ready to go, And then I actually was doing a meditation, and I was like, actually going to that point was like, let's see what happened. I remember COVID was there with me, and it was partying, like, the reason I had really, because it was all about divine timing to meet you in the right time. So then now that I'm vaccinated and it's actually, somewhat a part of me, now we can use that and work together now. We're no longer on separate ways. So now we're together. So we're partying. I was like, oh, hell yeah. COVID on my side. Like, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, and I was just excited about it, not really even understanding too much about the connection, but just understanding, the power in it. That, yes, through this meditation that, that everything's on my side. That I don't have to, look or feel like I'm different from somebody or grass or whatever it may be, viruses, sicknesses, anything like that, that we're all really one and we're all together and we're all working together. So we have to, kind of work and figure out on how to do this. So I just really wanted to, tell you about how you can use, the COVID, how it comes into magic, you know what I mean? So a lot of times people that are really into like magic and all that other type of stuff and stones, they like, no, I got that. Like, yeah, you definitely want to get the magic of the vaccine because there's some magic involved in there, trust me. I'm feeling the magic right now. There's just so many great things like that. And this is just another way, just bringing more awareness so that you too can create your own destiny and don't listen to what other people say by saying, going on with all the rest of whatever they want. And just remember, it's not written, it's more I wrote. So you go ahead, you write your own destiny and you do all the greatest things you can do. I love you guys. Make sure you subscribe and like this video for more content. I'm gonna get more content anyway. It don't really matter. But just do it for me anyway, because I love you. Appreciate you. Namaste, guys.